So we're gonna start this test drive here. I have a 2023 GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate, and I brought it out here. We're going towards a town in Tennessee called Woodbury, and I'm leaving Murfreesboro, getting on this 4-lane highway, and GM updated the SuperCruise map. I think it doubled from like 200,000 miles to 400,000 miles of roads that you can actually use the technology on. So I'm gonna see when it decides to activate. We're technically on the 4-lane now, but I'm gonna see if when the speed limit goes up, if it decides to come on. So it's still not allowing me to get that going. I looked at the map online and it did say I'd have to go a little further out to get it to activate. So I'm just gonna be patient with it, and then when it comes on, I'll edit the rest of this out of the video of me just sitting here trying to get it going. Okay, so after hitting the button about 1,000,000 times, the SuperCruise is finally engaged, which I find very interesting because the map that GM gives you on the website for the SuperCruise, it literally said just in a random spot that it would come on, and just like it said on the map, that's when this decided to activate. So pretty interesting. Love the software though. I mean, this is one of the safest semi-autonomous driving systems that you can get, just based on the tests that I've done versus Blue Cruise with the Mach-E, of course the autopilot, and then full self-driving with Tesla. I just like SuperCruise because it's mostly meant for situations like this on the interstate, but I'm so glad that they expanded this to 4-lane highways, kind of going out of your bigger cities into smaller communities. I actually used to live out this way, and it was about a 50-minute to an hour drive, and it's just nice to have this where when I had a Tesla, the autopilot did a pretty good job with the lane changing and all of that, but it didn't feel as clean as the SuperCruise does. All of the movements that the SuperCruise makes, I feel like an actual human is driving, as opposed to the autopilot where Tesla's software thinks it's smarter than it is, and then it'll just start beeping at you out of nowhere, and it scares the heck out of you. And then of course with the Blue Cruise from Ford, you can't get that on roads like this yet. So you have the co-pilot, which does the lane centering and the adaptive cruise, but you don't have something like this that's kind of thinking with you as you drive down the road. So very impressed that we're finally getting this for 4-lane highways, especially in a vehicle that pushes north of $100,000. I want this kind of software in a vehicle like that if I'm going to pay this much money for it. And again, just very impressed by it so far. So I'm going to see if it changes the lanes by itself. So that's the auto lane change, and absolutely flawless. Now the Nissan Ariya, I tested that software in that vehicle, and you have to actually keep your hands on the steering wheel as it does the lane change for you. Now the Tesla, I believe, did allow you to do the auto lane changes without having to touch the steering wheel, but again, this is just so clean and fresh, and just everything about it is super smooth so far. I feel like it's not hesitating. It's kind of seeing ahead of itself, and it's impressing me so far. But in terms of the Yukon Denali Ultimate itself, the ride quality is fantastic, of course. Love this interior here, and it's just one of those vehicles that makes you feel like $1,000,000, even though it's not an Escalade. I would probably take this, I wouldn't necessarily say over the highest trim Escalade, but definitely over a luxury or premium luxury, because this Ultimate, I have the massage seat going now, heads-up display, digital gauge cluster, that Google Assistant system, and most importantly for me, this SuperCruise, which is doing phenomenally on a 4-lane state highway. So if you've been kind of looking for a video of kind of showing the SuperCruise, we're going out in the middle of nowhere on a state highway, here you go. Hopefully this helps, and this will bring me to the end of my review of the SuperCruise on the 2023 GMC Yukon Ultimate.